So what's really driving the stock market these days? I mean, really pushing the buttons. Well, more and more, the answer is artificial intelligence. And no, this isn't some far-off sci-fi concept, it's what's happening on Wall Street right now. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain and really figure out what's hype and what's reality when it comes to AI-powered trading.
And just how real is it? Well, to give you an idea of the scale we're talking about, check this out. Nearly 89% of all global trading is now done, or at least helped along, by AI-driven algorithms. Let that sink in. That's a mind-boggling number. The machines aren't just part of the market anymore. In a lot of ways, they are the market.
All right, so to wrap our heads around this massive shift, we're going to break it down into 5 key parts. We'll kick things off with the revolution that's already here. Then we'll peek inside the AI's brain to see how it thinks. After that, we'll look at the tools you can actually get your hands on, weigh the good against the bad, and finally, we'll tackle the really big questions about ethics and who's in control.
First up, the AI trading revolution. And the big takeaway here is simple. This isn't something that's coming, it's already happened. AI is the dominant force in the markets today, and it's completely changing the game by doing things humans just can't.
So when we say AI trading, what are we actually talking about? Well, at its core, it's all about using these super smart technologies, things like machine learning and natural language processing, to do 3 things way better and faster than any person ever could. Analyze just insane amounts of data, spot tiny little trading opportunities a human would never see, and then boom, automatically place the trades.
So why the huge shift? Why is everyone turning to AI? Well, for starters, speed. We're talking about an AI analyzing millions of news articles, tweets, and price points in the time it takes you to blink. A huge one is that it takes emotion completely out of the picture. There's no fear, no greed, no gut feelings, just cold, hard data. Plus, it never sleeps. It can watch every market around the world 24/7. And maybe the most amazing part? It learns. These things can actually adapt their own strategies as the markets change.
Okay, so that's the why. But what about the how? How does this stuff actually work? You hear this term black box thrown around all the time, right? Well, let's try and crack it open and take a look at the engine that's making all these split-second decisions.
You can kind of think about it in 4 layers. First up is data ingestion. The AI just drinks from a fire hose of information. Stock prices, news headlines, social media, you name it. Then comes pattern recognition. This is where it acts like a superpowered detective, finding these complex patterns in the data that no human could ever spot. The third layer is strategy optimization. Here, the AI runs thousands of battle simulations against past market crashes and booms to figure out the absolute best plan of attack. And bam, the final step, automated execution. It connects directly to the exchange and places the trade in microseconds before a human trader has even finished their coffee.
Now, I know this all sounds like something for giant Wall Street firms, but this isn't just a game for the big guys anymore. The tools for everyday investors are catching up, and fast. So that brings us to your AI trading toolkit, where we'll check out everything from simple apps to full-on build-it-yourself trading bots. The market for this stuff really splits into 2 big camps. On one hand, you've got these automated plug-and-play apps. They're pre-built, they do the heavy lifting for you, and often you just pay a subscription. On the other hand, you've got the whole do-it-yourself world, where you use programming languages like Python to build your own custom bot from the ground up. It definitely takes more skill, but you get total control. And man, this slide really shows you the sheer variety of tools out there. You've got stuff like Capitalize.ai, which lets you write trading rules in just plain English, no code needed. Then there's TrendSpider, which has an AI sidekick that finds complex chart patterns for you. Want totally hands-off? There's Algos1. Or if you're a day trader, Trade Ideas has an AI called Holly that gives you trading signals every single morning. But before you rush off to sign up for one of these, let's get a crucial dose of reality. This is a quote from a guy who actually built his own trading bot, and he said, "I would be lying if I said, hey guys, I found a way to print money. This was really just a proof of concept." And that is so important to remember. These tools are powerful, for sure, but they are not magic money machines, not even close. And that leads us perfectly into our next section, because this technology is absolutely a double-edged sword. For all the incredible things it can do, AI trading is also loaded with some very real, very significant risks that you just have to understand.
So let's break this down, the good versus the bad. The pros, they're obvious, right? No more emotional trading like FOMO or revenge trading. You get lightning-fast reactions to news and the ability to watch everything at once. But the cons, man, they are serious. You've got the black box problem, where an AI makes a trade and even the people who built it can't tell you exactly why. There's a massive risk of overfitting a model to old data, and it's fragile. A tiny technical glitch like a slow internet connection could cause catastrophic losses.
Let's really drill down on that overfitting thing, because it's a huge deal. Imagine you're studying for a test and you memorize the exact questions and answers from last year's exam. You know them perfectly. But then this year's test has slightly different questions. You'd probably fail, right? That's overfitting for an AI. It learns the past so perfectly, including all the random flukes, that when the live market does something new, it just falls apart.
All of this naturally leads us into a much bigger, much more complicated conversation about ethics, bias, and control. When you create something this powerful, it brings up some really heavy questions. What's our responsibility here as humans? And maybe the biggest one, who's to blame when a robot makes a bad bet?
And you know, the big players in the financial world, they're not ignoring this. Groups like the Association for Financial Markets in Europe are already on it. They're publishing these big reports trying to build a rule book for this new game because they know that you can't just unleash this technology without some serious guardrails.
The ethical headaches really boil down to three things. First, data input bias. It's simple, right? Garbage in, garbage out. If you train your AI on biased information, its decisions are going to be biased, period. Then you've got the lack of explainability. Imagine trying to tell a client, well, the computer lost your retirement savings, but have no idea why. Not a great conversation, right? And finally, control. How do you make sure your self-learning algorithm doesn't learn its way into doing something illegal or manipulative?
So what's the solution? Well, it's about putting those guardrails in place. It means you have to be super critical about the data you feed these things. It means you have to train the humans who build them to look for and stamp out bias. You have to decide for each tool just how much of an explanation you need if something goes wrong. And the big one, you have to wrap the whole thing in a strong system of human control and auditing.
So, where does that leave us? What is AI in trading, really? Is it a powerful new co-pilot, something that can help us reach new heights of intelligence and efficiency in the markets? Or have we built a black box that's already running on a logic we can no longer control, or maybe even understand? The real answer, as always, is probably somewhere in the middle. And where we end up will depend entirely on the choices we make starting right now.